here again, they shot 72% from the field, so everybody looked good tonight. I believe my sister, if she was playing and was in Kentucky blue tonight, she probably would have looked good the way they were playing tonight.
Morehouse coach Grady Brewer talking about how his team came in and got spanked by 85 points. Now, I remember when I shot my sister with a BB gun when I was about 6. Same thing happened to me. I got spanked,
That's right.
and Morehouse got spanked. 85 points, DB?
85 points, and they called off the Dogs with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow.
They really did. I see Jared Polson trotting to the scores table 10 minutes in the first half. And it was like, at that point, it's like 74-10, so I can understand why they could have scored 200. And I've had a lot of people say, it's just an exhibition. A, they lost to Georgia by 24, and you lost to Kentucky by 85. And B, I've seen a lot of exhibitions, and it was more than that. The athleticism in that building, you're just like, oh my goodness, I don't believe what I'm seeing. It's going to be a fun ride.
That's Darrell Byrne of the Cats Pause. This is Howie Lindsey of the Louisville Sports Report. Still in the afterglow, Howie, of that huge win at West Virginia in football.
Absolutely. Great win against West Virginia. Anytime you can beat the Mountaineers, it's always a good thing. I think Louisville's only done it there twice. So big win, probably all the way back to the Miami game or the Florida State wins. These are kind of top 10 wins in Louisville history. And you got to wonder on the UK side, Spike Lee apparently set this up for Morehouse College. That coach has got to be angry at Spike Lee. Like, come on, man. What'd you get me into?
See what happens when the alumni get involved?
That's right.
We got a lot to talk about, as you can tell, already in our lightning round. This hot portion of the lightning round is brought to you by Kentucky Corner. There are locations all over the Commonwealth and right on your computer at KentuckyCornerOnline.com. Who's hot at the University of Kentucky is the new quarterback Max Smith, and Joker Phillips says he's not determining the starting quarterback. Max Smith is making that decision.
If a guy performs at the level that he performed at, that Max did, I think you got to go with who you think gives us the best chance, who's got the hot hand. And right now, Max Smith has the hot hand. Easy to say you don't lose your job because of injury, but when a coach is put in that situation, the guy comes in and performs like he performed, and you got to make a decision. And the decision is that Max has got the hot hand.
There's no denying who has the hot hand, but Joker Phillips was in a very interesting kind of a quandary about, the old adage of you can't take the kid's job away from him just because he was hurt. Morgan Newton had not played well at all, and Smith had already been in several times as a backup role in emergency when they weren't doing anything. And the last 2 weeks, Maxwell had played really well and was just outstanding in Ole Miss. At that point, you can't take the job away from Maxwell Smith because the team is playing well, the offense has rallied in every dimension possible, the defense is even playing better. So to me, you have to play out the rest of the entire season with Maxwell Smith, unless he lays an absolute egg at some point along the way. Then you can bring Morgan back, but otherwise it's Maxwell Smith the rest of the way.
Who's hot for the University of Louisville is their offense. In fact, that Louisville offense was so hot in Morgantown, they melted the Mountaineer fans right into their seats.
And a lot of times when you go in an environment, because so much was said about the batteries being thrown and the fans, and then I will say this, though, they do have really good fans, because we pulled in there at 10 o'clock in the morning, that place was packed at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not saying our fans are really good, but I don't want our fans to ever talk to me about a 12 o'clock game. You'll see that now. They were packed in there. I don't know where they came from, but they were packed in that ballpark. But the crowd was never a factor. And then, you talk about going on the road and you're saying the defense need to take the crowd out of the game. Actually, our offense took the crowd out of the game.
I was absolutely amazed that Louisville's offense took West Virginia's crowd out of the game. I mean, they're known for being oppressive to opponents that are coming in there. They're known for just making it an awful environment for anybody trying to play there. And Louisville took them out of the game. I mean, it was really amazing. If you'd have told me ahead of time that Louisville was going to win in a shootout, I would have called you a liar. No way that Louisville was going to win in a shootout, and that's exactly what they did, 38-35, and what an impressive victory by this Louisville offense.
But then Howie calls me a liar on a fairly regular basis, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, who's not hot? Everyone on the Butkus Award Committee, because how do they do this? They have taken Danny Trevathan off the watch list, and I think really Joker Phillips may be happy about that.
I'm glad they did it. I'm serious. I am, because one of the kids was saying this as I was walking by. Says, he was upset because he was taken off. All he's done is had 34 tackles in the last 2 games. He had 2 interceptions. He had tackle for loss. He's leading our defense the way we expected him to lead it. So let's take him off. Did he make all SEC? Was he the player of the week this year? Good.
I think he's serious, but Trevathan was visibly and admittedly, he was upset to be taken off that list as being considered one of the top linebackers in the nation, which is an absolute joke. He's the best in the SEC. He's leading in tackles again, and as Joker pointed out, 2 games, not a series of games, 2 games, 34 tackles, 17 tackles in both. I think he has a shot at 20 at Vanderbilt. I really do. He's just playing man on fire right now. It's going to be interesting to see.
What's not hot for the University of Louisville is perhaps we're already seeing a chink in that Cardinal armor as we look toward that Kentucky-Louisville game coming up on the last day of the new year. And Howie really pointed this out, that Coach Pitino's maybe giving us a peek that there's going to be a weakness in that Cardinal defense on the perimeter.
I was worried about this game, to be honest with you. I know you think it's a Division II team, but the way they play was going to give us major problems because Gorky would have to come away. Shane has struggled and had to come away and guard people at the perimeter.
Now, I find this clip interesting because he said one of his biggest concerns coming into the Bellarmine game was trying to guard on the perimeter. And he mentioned it also in a previous game against Pikeville we're seeing here. So he's not going to say this before the Kentucky game, of course. Right. But if it's a concern that he's worried about Gorky Chang and Shane Bohannon guarding on the perimeter, it's definitely going to be a concern when they face Kentucky, who has, of course, Anthony Davis, Terrence Jones, who love to hang out on the perimeter. So they've got to get that fixed before December 31st.
The buzz at the University of Kentucky has to do with that new freshman Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Cal says Gilchrist goes so hard during the game that if his teammates don't do and match his effort, he'll make them look bad.
Do you know now why I tell my team if he's ahead of you and you don't give him the ball, you're coming out? He makes plays in transition. He gets to the rim, he'll pass it. He's a willing passer. He wants us to win, so he'll make that extra thing. But it's not nasty. It's just he just plays that hard. I mean, when you watch him, you know, it forces you as a player to raise your level of intensity because if you don't, you stand out. Like, why isn't he playing? Why is he playing cool? He acts like it doesn't matter. And the other dude's diving on the floor. He's talking, he's jumping, he's stabbing, he's blocking, he's sprinting, he's driving. It makes you either mad or you say, I gotta step this up, I gotta step on the gas.
It's going to be fascinating to watch to me because so far Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, it's got a little bit of Danny Trevathan going on. You notice a lot of people don't say anything about him. They rave about Davis. Davis is preseason pick. Marcus Teague's had a lot of love, and even the new SI that's out, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is not even listed among the starters or key reserves. And they're like, are you kidding me? This is the best player on the team, and I thought that since back in the summertime. He is the most versatile player on the team. And you're right, if UK gets as far as they want to go, it's going to be because of him. He's going to pick up everybody and make them play better.
The buzz at the University of Louisville, a coach from Florida going surfing is probably not a big deal until you consider he was surfing in West Virginia. And that's really the buzz. Charlie Strong was so pumped after that win against West Virginia that he actually crowd surfed his football team in the celebratory locker room.
So I stand up on this cooler and I fall. I fall off the cooler because there's some water there on it. So then I get back up there and John Jay said, if you fall again, John Jay said, if you fall again, I'll catch you. So then I'm standing up there talking, then all of a sudden I just jumped in the crowd, jumped in with the players.
Well, I think you see why we love playing for Coach Strong now. You know, on the field, he doesn't take any slack. For the most part, off the field, when it comes to things such as academics, just living your everyday life and paying attention to the core values, you know, honesty, treat women with respect, no guns, no stealing, no drugs. You know, just living in that, he's pretty harsh, he's pretty stern. But then it goes to show you that at the same time, he loves to have fun. I mean, he does. He loves this, he loves his job, he loves us, like his kids. And I think you just saw that. You know, a coach, that's not fake juice. He always talks to us about fake juice. That wasn't fake juice.
I love this clip. You've got to watch this thing. He's calling attention. He gets Will Stein down off the bucket. I'm just going to give you a play-by-play because I love this clip. It makes me happy. And he gets up on the bucket and he's like, no, whoa, hey now. All right, let me get back up on the bucket. He gets back up on this Gatorade bucket. The players are going crazy anyway. And he tells him something you can't really hear. And then he goes, whee! right up into the crowd. And those players love that guy. I mean, that is a coach that has the respect, the admiration, the love of his players. They just beat a top 25 team on the road to get them sole second place in the Big East. That's a great moment, a great look inside the locker room. And somebody was asking too, I hate to bring it up, but somebody was asking what would happen if a couple previous coaches had tried to crowd surf on them, you know, Bobby Petrino or Steve Cragthorpe. They'd have gone, boom! They'd have had a sprained shoulder because they hit the ground so hard.
Well, Charlie Strong has the love, but he has zero vertical leap.
No.
I mean, he jumped Kleenexes
Well,
when he
he's 260 pounds. I mean, you know.
Aren't we all? Hey, let's talk about what's coming up later on in the Red and Blue Review. We're going to give you a couple of tickets to the Kentucky-Tennessee football game, and if you want them, it's easy to register. Go on Facebook, go to the Allstate Ford Facebook page, say that you like their page, and that enters the contest for your chance to win. Well, I am easily fascinated by inanimate objects. Cardinal football players say they are easily blocked by them. We'll talk about that after Daryl tells us about the Kentucky basketball yearbook.
Yeah, Gary's distracted by shiny objects too. Do appreciate it. Cat's Paws
Hey, like a
basketball.
bird.
That's right. Cat's Paws basketball yearbook is out. The sales have gone really well since October, and another push now that the season is underway.
Daryl, that shirt looks good on you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sorry.
So, Hayden, 641-3302, shopcatspaws.com.
So distracted.